Red lights on, which means it's episode 35 of Rangers of the Grid. What up? It's Richard. That's
35.
Marcus. We in the 35s, dog.
Yep.
And you know when it hits on a 5 or a 0, we try to do something special in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. Try
Usually it's
to.
been anniversaries, but now we out of the anniversary years for Power Rangers.
They got to catch up.
So we thought, let's do the movie. Let's go OG 95.
Yeah.
And my God, Marcus, I feel like I've seen this movie so many times.
Yes. Same.
Like, but I watched it again because I probably haven't watched it in like a year.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was on streaming services and now suddenly it's not,
Yeah.
which is weird.
Because it was on HBO Max for like the longest time.
Mm-hmm. Turbo, I think, is still there. But
Yeah. Yeah. Because I remember when we did Turbo, I found it on it and watched it. Or no, Turbo was on Hulu, I think.
honestly,
It was
isn't it crazy?
one of
Like,
them.
who knows nowadays, right?
Dude, because, yeah, it's weird how like the whole streaming thing works, really, when you think about it. Like
Well, if you
properties
search
that
the
were
movie,
meant for one goes into another one. And,
yeah, but if you search the movie,
uh huh.
like it says it's on Disney Plus. It's not.
Mm. I wonder if it's on like that international stuff.
Maybe, like, but I ain't international. I'm fucking United States of America. Like, I'm here. Like, it's all I can. It is what it
Like
is, dog. I ain't got that.
I'm Pitbull. I'm Mr. International.
Yeah, and I also don't have a VPN, so I'm like,
There you go.
I don't know what I'm gonna do about that, right?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I watched it. I got a lot of questions. It's a trip. I'm like, man, how do we even just like jump into this because it's like let's just talk about as a kid, Marcus. As a kid, when you saw this movie or even
Hmm.
heard it was coming out, like, tell me, how stoked were you?
Oh, I was so, dude. I think it. I think we were in Arizona for like a family reunion
Mm-hmm.
when it came out, and then it was this whole like, okay, like my mom was making my. I think we went and like saw it there, and saw it a couple times, I think, and of course had to go to McDonald's and get the toys. Um, and it was one of those things. It's like you had to. And I remember my mom telling my cousin Gerald, who like had his first kid at the time, and he was just like, "Oh, we got to do it," because he had to show first round. We didn't have a car, so
Yeah.
he had to go with us. Like, man, why you gotta do it? She's like, "You gonna know one day. You gonna know. Kids get old enough. You gonna
Mm-hmm.
know." And I just, dude, I remember being so excited about it, and then like I remember then being at like summer school, and that's all anyone talked about was the movie.
Yeah, because it came out during the summer.
Yeah, it was so good. You good, dog? You good?
Yeah, I'm moving the camera. I'm using a better webcam that I
Oh,
found
okay.
that I had. That's better than the camera on my laptop. And when you put it on, you got to make sure it's like
Yeah.
ready. And yeah, so I had to do all that. Let's
Hmm.
see. Yeah, it came out what, June 30th, 95.
Mm.
So it's a few weeks before my birthday. And I remember, man, I was just so stoked for it. Looking back now, like it doesn't feel like it was in 95.
Hmm.
Like there's a few years in those mid 90s that I don't know, I guess my brain jumbles them together. Like the fact that this movie came out before I was 5 doesn't feel like it.
Right?
Yeah. Like all this stuff seems so fast. But I remember being really stoked about it because like Power Rangers was every day.
Hmm.
So knowing that this is a like full on movie, man, like at the time, in my brain, I'm like, wow, this is gonna be like Mighty Ducks 2, Sandlot, like this is one of those movies that I'm gonna get to watch, at the time, Selena, right? Like all these movies that I've been watching with my family,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to go see. And right off the bat, it's just hilarious. They start out in the air,
Hmm.
skydiving. Such a Power Ranger thing, right?
Hey, but what are they skydiving for? To raise money for an observatory.
Mm-hmm.
because the Rangers, let's be real, they just can't do anything. Everything they're doing has to have some sort of like, charitable like act behind it.
Oh, for sure. And that's just funny because like in my head, I'm like, hold up. You teenagers are skydiving like on your own.
Hey,
Like I think
the
that now, right?
skydiving
Because I'm
pros.
yeah, because I'm watching that now, right?
Yes.
Like, I'm thinking of it as now, not as I was a kid, because truth be told, I loved everything about it as a kid. Like there was maybe like one thing I can remember as a kid I was like kind of like weirded out about. Not even weirded out, just like we'll get to it when we talk about Lord Zed. Anyways,
Okay.
so they start out skydiving, right? Bulk and Skull, scared, which makes sense, right? Because they're
hmm
bullies, but they're also like really like not bullies when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
And like I ain't gonna lie, as a kid, I thought it was like the coolest thing, bro. Tommy, like, of course he has the snowboard. Like he's got the
Right.
cool one.
Like that was so like Tommy. But then again, like
Mm-hmm.
going back to like what I used to when we talked about the mutiny. Here are six teenagers
Mm-hmm.
wearing the colors of the Power Rangers, right?
Mm-hmm. And
Dude,
that's what they're doing in this too.
when they're in the jumpsuits, they're literally like all in their colors, like, and even like their parachute packs have like a diamond of with their Ranger color on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like,
And it's just
come on.
hilarious because like we see that
Mhm.
they go and they land it. Tommy Oliver's last, even though he didn't jump last. Weird that he gets to land last.
Well,
Not a
because
bad
he's
thing,
Tommy.
as
Because
a
he's
kid, I thought,
Tommy. He's Tommy.
yeah. And even as adult, to be honest, it makes sense. Like I get it. Like he's
Yeah.
your lead. Then I'm gonna tell you right now, who's this kid, man? Me. I'm like, who you?
That's Fred Kelman, dog. You don't know about Fred Kelman?
Nah, I don't know about no
You don't
fool
know
named
about Fred
Fred.
Kelman.
I don't know about no fool named Fred, and I'm trying to be polite and PG with that. I don't know about no fool named Fred. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
I just think to myself, like, who? Okay, who's this kid?
hmm
um, Even then, as a kid, I remember I was like, I've never seen him before. But I'm gonna talk about it like even as now, like, who's this kid? I get it. We're like, this is a kid's movie. This is for children.
Yes.
All right,
I told
awesome.
you, it's a kids movie.
For sure. Hey,
So of course
100%. Like, I get that. I'm usually the guy on that side, by the way.
I know that's why like when you sent me that text message last night, I was dude, I legit almost like I had to stop myself from cracking up because like I got it literally where I'm supposed to be playing drums.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh dude, I want to start messing up so bad because it's like because literally we swapped roles. Like you're the one that like I'm the one like, why is this kid here? What is he doing? He's so freaking annoying, all the blah blah blah. And you're like, well, no, Marcus, it's a kid's movie. Like, hey, talking about last episode, Santa. Oh, so they just accepting Santa's real? I was like, well, Marcus, it's a kid show. Come on. Like,
But this to me is even more different than that instance, especially because like Santa Claus. Hey, I don't know for you Ranger fans out there that know, but even internationally, Santa Claus is a bigger deal than Power Rangers. Wild that concept, I
yeah,
know.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. He's more over than them, and that's hard for me to say, but that's the truth. He ain't more over on Santa Claus, especially on his day. But now speaking, um, Fred,
Fred
dude, we
Kelman.
ain't ever seen Fred Kelman, Freddie K.
Dude.
Fred looking like a typical 90s kid. They wanted to get Jonathan Taylor Thomas, but old boy was too hot at the time, although he's rough right now. Saw him out and about. They caught him. First time they caught him since COVID out and about. I feel bad for him because I think we and him are close to the same age, but damn, man. Old boy's struggling, but it's all good. Anyways, back to the lecture at hand I'm giving. And I'm not
Woo.
like Ron Bivens over here because I ain't got poison for him, but I got this. Um,
Damn, someone's on one today. You
And
was
I ain't even
on
drank no, and
one.
I ain't even drank no Patron. I ain't taking no shots to the dome. But anyways, this ain't no Diddy stuff, right? Secondly, let me get
Whoa,
it.
whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, now you've gone too far.
I know we ain't talking about TD on this one. But anyways, Fred, right?
Fred,
Fred
Fred Kelman.
Killman. All right. This is my thing. Who are you? Tommy. Okay, like I ain't gonna lie. Like even as a kid, especially now, I'm like, are you related? Like the dad kind of looked like Tommy. That could be his uncle. Maybe they cousins, but they're not.
I always thought that was weird too. Well, now that you say that, it's interesting because wasn't Tommy? I know this is kind of sidetracking. Wasn't Tommy like an orphan? I thought he was like an orphan.
Oh man, I don't know.
Like,
I don't know
and
if that
then
was explained up to this point.
like because I just remember in the show, I think they kind of hit on like he was like an orphan or like was raised by like other family or something like that. But then it was kind of weird because then I remember when they were trying to get him. You remember when like Kimberly missed him and wanted to drive up to go see him? He was at his uncle's,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where he was supposed to be when they pulled him for white light. And then he moved back, and then he's just like, okay, I'm just back in Angel Grove now. Um,
But
but
hey,
then
hey, I love that you trying to make sense of this.
I just because it's something I've always thought about, and now that you brought up, like, oh, maybe that's like there's somehow related. It just brought it back to my mind of like, okay, let me. I got to get this out now, just
Well, and
because I'm.
see, this is the thing though, Marcus, and that's a your line too. But anyways, I'm gonna steal that right now. This the thing.
Good. I love we switching roles right now. Good. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
for sure, because we're trying to make sense of something that should have been explained to us.
Yes.
Like, why does
Yes.
my 5-year-old self, maybe possibly 4 when I actually saw the movie,
Uh-huh.
why do I need to think of how these guys related? Why do I need to think of why is the spotlight being shown on him? Because, as the song had once said, always falls short of being worthy. We wasn't good enough for the spotlight, but this fool was Freddie K. And I'm
Hey,
gonna go in on this right now.
hey. Now you sounded like me and Justin right now. A little jelly
But
that
this
that's the
is
kid
hey,
that gets to
this
interact
is
with the
so
Rangers, and it
different.
ain't
Do you want to know
you.
why?
Why?
So different because at least he has something to do with karate.
Oh, Justin.
Does what does what does Fred do?
Fred is Fred, dude. Wait. Come
This
on,
ain't
dog.
like
You don't know
2010,
about
dog.
Freddie
This ain't
Kelman?
2010. This
Don't
ain't
know about
2010.
Freddie
Where
Kelman?
Fred's over, okay? Where Fred's over with the kids in 2010. This ain't 2011. Like, oh my God, I'm Fred, or whatever that little white boy was.
That's what I was thinking of too. And John Cena's first acting movie,
Yeah, I know.
like his legit first acting role, was in that. No,
But
but
anyways, I'm just like that was a huge takeaway for me. I'm like, okay, who's this kid? Why does he get all this spotlight? Because I'm
Mhm.
gonna be honest with you, and this is I guess how we can start getting into the movie for real. The movie doesn't focus on many people.
Mhm.
Okay, Ooze got spotlight.
Yes.
Zed, Rita, Goldar even gets some spotlight. Of the Rangers, the two, and and by the way, this is a precursor of how this season's gonna go. Season 3. This is foreshadowing for sure. The spotlight is on Kim,
Mhm.
Tommy.
Yep.
And
100%.
and Adam got in some random lines, but I've read an interview, and I'm gonna start this off hot, that Johnny Young Bosch has stated that he had lines taken away from him.
Yeah, I've heard that, and plus also reading that book you got me for Christmas a couple years ago, the Ranger book.
That is went up to value of $300. Shout outs. You're welcome.
Hey, mine's probably more because it's autographed. Anyway, um, yeah, like this movie went through like a couple iterations. Like while they were doing it, while they were like filming it, and then it's like, all right, we're gonna film all this stuff. All right, now we're gonna change it. Like a
um,
lot of stuff went through this movie. Like
for sure. They switched what from a director to I guess a guy who's never directed a movie. He's a
this was like,
cameraman.
yeah, this was his like first director, like direct. This was his directorial debut.
Bro, like that to me is wild.
Dude, imagine the pressure. Because let's be real,
Well,
there's a lot of pressure on that like kids movie, but let's be real, this is a global phenomenon right now.
oh
Because they're
yeah,
filming it during right around season 2.
like I know, and this is the thing too. Like looking back now, if we had a long form interview with like Steve Cardenas or any of the, I
Yeah.
guess you'd say the newer ones, like
Hmm.
Aisha, Johnny on Bosch. I'd love to ask, what's your guys' relationship with the OG members?
Yeah.
Because you're jumping into shooting season two. In the
Hmm.
middle of it, you have to do a feature film,
Yeah. Because I
which is
know literally
different
they,
than the show.
yeah, because they literally got cast, like they got the role, and we're like, all right, now go Pat, because you're going to Australia to film this movie for like a few weeks. It's supposed
Well,
to be a
yeah,
few
they
weeks.
didn't they have to do that also as well, like ASAP, because
Yes.
when they realized that Austin St. John,
Hmm.
Trini, and Zach weren't re-signing and they didn't want to sign those deals, they had to pivot quick because of this movie was already planned.
Yeah. The movie was basically like a done, not a done deal, but just like in the sense of paperwork and all that. Like, we're financing this movie. It's coming out this day. We got to get it done.
There's a bunch of things like looking back at Marcus, like dang, we haven't even talked deep into the movie, but like
I know.
they had to get in the White Ranger quick.
Yep.
They had to bring him in fast in the show to introduce him, introduce who he is, Zord's figures of these people, all that stuff ASAP because of this movie. And just like real quick, like this movie is such a 90s movie
It
in
is.
like the best way. Like
It is. It
they're
really is.
rollerblading. This is like rollerblading, right? Blading's cool. Their colors,
All,
by the
all,
way.
I know. Hey, all the great 90s movies would have a like. I remember I put that poll out there one time on like Instagram. This is years ago. Like, I put out there, I was like, what movie had the best like inline skating like montage? You had My Morphin Power Rangers, a movie, Brink, and D2 the Mighty Ducks.
I think the
That was
best
the
part of that
staple in
too
the
is the
90s,
song. The song. The
right?
mountain is high, the
The
valley
valley
is
is
low,
low.
and you're
You're
confused on
confused.
which way
Which
to
way to
go.
go?
Right?
Dude,
Like
that
how money was that song to that scene?
but all those movies were like all the songs in that movie were higher ground.
Yeah.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers covering like Stevie Wonder. Okay. Just do that
Mhm.
bass line kick.
Yep.
Every time I hear that song, I just think of that movie.
And we start this thing like that's how the movie starts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and the other part is like in the beginning of the movie too. And I felt like we hopped into Ivan News quick.
Oh, so quick.
Like I looked at the timer. I'm telling you, I feel like it's like 20 minutes or less. We know it's Ivan News.
Yeah.
And this is, I guess, where I can get into my other hot take because we did mention Ivan News.
Hit it.
Um, what's up with like, and I know it's movie, so it's actually supposed to be like better costumes, better suits, all these things, right? Big budget just for one
Yeah.
movie, right?
Hmm.
Like, at the time, this was a $15 million budget.
Yeah.
Why is Zed small?
Right? His suit was like I saw the other
Not,
day
yeah.
like a comparison of like all like his his looks. You had from Mighty Morphin in the show, like the TV Zed. Then you had movie Zed, who's the skeleton, like the frame stuff on him and everything was all different
Mm-hmm.
too. And then like there's a part on there because normally, and I kind of noticed this like later in life, Zed's sort of like kind of sternum and the things that I guess supposed to be like ribs almost looks like a tie, but in the
Mm.
movie it was done like in like a diamond shape. So I don't know if that was to make it like because the Rangers have diamonds and he's a villain. I don't know if or if they just like, hey, we're just building this, whatever. But yeah, he's small, and then you get to Dino Fury Zed
Oh,
yoked
for
out,
sure.
yo
But
homie
like,
on
I'm
the
just
gym.
saying he's different looking,
Yeah,
and we're gonna go into season three, and he looks different.
yeah.
Rita's the same. Rita kind of looks the same.
Reed
You get a
looks the
little bit
same.
more detail because better cameras, probably
Yeah,
better stuff, right? Effects.
yeah.
Goldar looks way
Goldar,
different.
yeah, Goldar had like kind of like that glow up, dude. He looked like he was in a filter. Like his face looked more like almost
Smooth.
yeah, and like more like a dog.
Yeah, to be honest, like he didn't look as menacing.
No.
Like I thought a villain was supposed to be rough,
Plus, they kind
and
of
he
had him
wasn't.
cracking jokes too.
Oh yeah,
This is the beginning of that.
there was a very, and this is, I guess, a part of the Ivan News part that I was like a little whatever about, but it's also like this is where I check myself and I'm like, he's a kid. Like, oh, this is a kid show.
Yeah.
Ivan News is all about jokes.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%.
And I'm gonna get real controversial with this take.
Get it.
Ivan News was really just like a plot line of like a newer age dictator
Yeah.
because the goal was to take out to brainwash kids.
Yes.
So he went to brainwash the youth
Mm-hmm.
to get to their parents.
Mm-hmm.
Not because the youth were strong. He actually thought quite the opposite.
Yeah.
He thought they were weak. They're so weak that we can get them, though, to manipulate their love to get their parents to do what he needs them to. Because, like, he's not, I'll say it right now, he's not like a child molester. He's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Most times when people mess with kids, like,
Mm-hmm.
it's for
It's something
something
like that.
else. And no, he uses the child's innate reason to want, right? They
Mm-hmm.
want things. This ooze is cool. Oh man, even kids now still like gack and stuff
And
like
it's
that.
slime.
Yeah, slime. So like
Hey, we just gonna do that one day. Guess what? Do something with slime and dress up like Ivan News.
you can. I'll be right
All
there
right,
next to you.
kitties.
As long as you paint your face white. Anyways, like I think they got the look of Ivan News down. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he looked like a devil, right? Like
Kind of,
this
yeah.
that's kind of like the goal, right? Just like we thought because the way Zed was with the body
Mhm.
and not even the face.
Yeah.
Zed's face never looked like the devil. Ivan News's face was way more like the
Yeah.
devil-ish, devilish, demonish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like he was insanely strong. He was talking about like 6,000 years, right? Um, it's just interesting, like some of the stuff, like when you think about it, and that's the only like real thing he's ever done, right?
Ivan News.
Like the character, yeah. This is a movie.
Yeah.
Like old comics don't count because it's just based off the movie part.
Mm-hmm.
Is that? But I did think like, especially the way he came in, he was strong. Um, the key with Zordon right away, and like it's interesting. All right, like he has a thing with Zordon. Zed does too,
Yeah.
and Zed knows who he is, but he don't know who Zed is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, I thought that was interesting. The command center. It's always funny. Like things look different in this movie than they do in the show.
It's the movie, bro. It's the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. Like okay, like I get it. We know
I
we're
didn't like
having
how the
more.
command center looked, honestly.
I know that a lot of times people go for white backgrounds because it makes things look bigger.
Uh-huh.
Okay. In this instance, I don't know if that was a good thing because it
It
felt like there
wasn't.
was so much unused space.
Yeah, and it was so small. Like it seemed
Mm-hmm.
smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I know like the command center is normally just like panel here, panel there, big round one up front, Zordon's thing. But it just
Zordon
felt
looked like Mr. Belding with no hair.
ooh, like I remember when we first said that, I was yeah, that bugged me. Zordon bugged me in this movie. I didn't like
Yeah,
the way
me
he
too.
looked. I didn't like the way he
I
looked.
liked him better. This is gonna sound terrible. When old boy was on his deathbed and those memes came out. And if you know what I'm talking about, you can go look it up.
You know, okay, while we're talking about
Ah,
movie stuff of like stuff we,
Rangers.
that was just clearly for the movie, I'm gonna go
Mm-hmm.
into my thing that I hate about this movie.
All right, go ahead, because I'm about done. Like my hate's kind of over.
Okay, Mordant.
Oh yeah, who's this
I
fool?
I hate him.
Yeah, who's
I
this guy?
I 100% hate him because I'm like, where's Squat and Babu?
I didn't like him as a kid.
Where's Finster? Like the moment I saw him, I'm like, who is this fat pig mofo right here?
Yeah,
I did not
who
like
in the
him.
blue heck are you?
Like it annoyed the crap out of me. Who is this like Bebop Rocksteady wannabe looking dude? Like It just annoyed me
Yeah. Heck
because
yeah, dog.
I was just like, I know that like Zed and Rita got pushed to the side and everything for the movie, because
Mm-hmm.
Ivan's the big bad of the movie. But it's like, okay, so but Goldar is still there being Goldar, and Mordant. Who
Mm-hmm.
is this dude?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember reading they were saying like, I guess in like we said like an earlier draft of the movie, it was supposed to be explained he was somehow like Goldar's cousin, twice removed, mother side type thing, something like that. But I'm just like, dude, this was so stupid. Was really not like you couldn't get like uh Squaw or Babu looking like Michael Jackson. Like you can get that up in this movie,
Man, I know.
or at
I know
least
what you mean.
Finster. At least Finster, dude. Come on, the dude that makes the monsters. Like I was just like, oh,
I
this is.
personally was pretty surprised by it too. I was like, okay, like this don't really make sense, but whatever.
And now that I see it and or looking back again, I'm like, I feel like this was more of a setup for Rito in a sense of
Mm-hmm.
like a hey, we're gonna throw another general guy in here, and him and Goldar are gonna have this kind of back and forth banter, possibly.
But like, at least Rito looked intimidating.
Yeah, this guy's
Like,
just this guy literally just looks like honestly like Peter Griffin from Family Guy, especially
yeah, I
over here
mean,
just
there
like
was no point of
barping
him.
and shit. Yeah, he annoys me so much. Like, hey, you don't like Fred Kelman? I don't like Mordant.
Yeah, like I get the Mordant thing big time. Like,
Mm-hmm. I
like the
doubt.
Mordant thing is
Let me ask you
huge.
this though: what
Uh-huh.
about Dulcia?
Dulcia. I liked her. Did you not like her?
No, I did. I thought it was cool. I was kind of like, oh, so she's not gonna be in the show? Is it's funny how she's supposed to basically be Ninjor?
Yeah, she's Ninjor. I thought it was interesting that like she can't leave.
Yeah,
She can't leave. I think it's real interesting. Like, it sounds terrible, but like it's almost more interesting list like reading about who was casted.
Mariska Hargitay,
Yeah, that was interesting.
Law and Order SVU,
And how they're like, man,
Captain
this wasn't a real
Enterprise.
great fit, but luckily this lady came back from her surgery in time.
Dude, I know, and it was rough. Like, dude, they actually filmed with Mariska too.
Oh, I know. There's photos out there, you can
Uh
see
huh.
it. I also think it's interesting to know that from what I've read, yeah, Dulcia, dude, like I read that. I don't know if you read that. Catherine Sutherland, who later became Kat, she tried out for the role too.
Yeah.
And this her trying out helped her get in
Mm-hmm.
for the
To the
role of
show.
Catherine.
Yeah, because by the time they were doing this, they were already having to work on season three. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember, and I know you remember this. This is like literally one of the best moments in Rangers history. That whole arc of like the Green Ranger versus the White Ranger,
Oh
and they
yeah.
got sent back in time, and Adam met Homegirl, and then her descendant, I guess, later, but like she was still looking at him like, hey, like that whole thing, and like that wizard, which was just a cloak with this Halloween mask.
Yeah.
But dude, Bulk and Skull like produced those episodes.
Because they had to, right?
Yeah,
It's a
because the
trip
show
knowing
was
that they had to like switch from LA to Australia based off of the movie taking too long, right?
yeah. And so no, I don't think they went to I think they filmed them still in Australia.
No, yeah, but like the show is not at the
Oh,
time was in
yeah.
LA.
Yeah, but they filmed those episodes in Australia because it was like they found that like Western town to do it in. That's why
Yeah,
like
yeah,
even
that's how
though
that whole thing
yeah,
happened.
and this kind of goes back to the whole thing we were talking about a while ago, like with Zed once he showed up and like the palace was like different. Like, oh yeah, he's just on this other side of the palace. Also, I remember when they're at school, they're all of a sudden just outside, and they're at these like benches and like tables hanging out outside of like Angel Grove High School that we've never seen before.
Well, yeah, I also think it's interesting that I don't know if you've read, and let's get into it. The Tengu Warriors, right?
Yes.
They're beasts. They're strong.
Hmm.
They're really strong in the movie, right?
Yes.
As far as the movie goes, until like they they really the Rangers really get going, I guess. And later they're like season 3 putties, basically, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever read that like the little rats used in
Hmm.
that western town were actually supposed to be Zed's guys, but they felt they were too low budget looking?
Yeah. The giant rats.
And it wasn't supposed to be the Tengus. It ended up being the what would you call them, Marcus? Like the little ooze guys
Yeah.
when
The
he first shows
Oozmen,
up. Yeah,
the little Jamaican bobsled team.
yeah. Jamaica, we got a bobsled
And
team.
then when they show up, they do the little Thriller thing. The little always that always made me think of Thriller.
Yeah,
But yeah, yeah. But I don't know why they just didn't use the ooze ones, but I forget the reason why.
but I
But
just thought it was super interesting that like, hey, those rats, like everything had a purpose, which is kind of cool to think about. Like they didn't really waste nothing.
yeah, yeah, they're
Like
just like,
everything had a purpose.
hmm, yeah. I would love to talk to Bulk the actors that played Bulk and Skull about that. Jason Narvi and Paul Schreier, just like about that experience. Like, okay, so you guys produced these episodes and kind of made these happen.
Like what
Like,
what was going on? Like why?
like, like, first of all, damn, they really just let y'all do that. Like, I know they're not kids. Don't get me wrong. I know, and we know dang sure Bulk was no kid.
Oh my god, no, come on.
But I'm just saying, it's kind of interesting. I know there are shows that have like they'll let their actors like direct an episode and stuff like that,
They're a
but
co-executive producer.
they're like legit like doing these put these episodes on, and that
Hmm.
and let's be real, they gave us a great moment from that
Yeah.
that Green Ranger versus White Ranger fight.
Oh, that was great. That was smart.
Like, I
I
would
told you I
love,
recorded them
yeah,
as a kid. Like my dad recorded them for me because he knew how into it I
yeah.
was for them
Like
for that.
that's like a one of those things that's like, dang, y'all was up against the ropes and did this, but ended up creating this
Something wild.
moment that was just great.
Yeah, it's just that whole thing to me is interesting because like I don't know, Marcus, you tell me. They go and they fight, right? They're in the jungle. They get these suits. Adam has what I think is his probably breakout line in the movie, which I'd heard was like kind of ad lib that whole little part.
100% ad lib.
He's a frog. She does the handsome prince kiss, makes old boy, get excited.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Dude, as
but
a
then like,
kid,
yeah,
that scene always made me like, ew, she kissed him. Like, ew, like, bro, I was like 3.
mhm.
Okay.
Okay, the way different. Okay, yeah, I
Like,
understand.
hey, girls
My
have it.
bad.
Now I'm like, hell yeah, Adam, hell yeah.
The beat, the beat of Loyal's playing in the back of your head when they kissing. Let me
Yeah, dude. Like,
see.
but like I said, like going back though, I feel like you said, like talking about like I'm dreaming of a White Ranger. This was sort of like where Adam was kind of just there. This is when you got kind of get to see him break out a little bit.
And he's like the only one that got it of the newbies.
Yeah, I felt like Aisha always. I feel like honestly, out of the original, well, not original 3, but just the 3 Stone Canyon kids, she was the standout.
As far as like speaking, yes.
And I think because she was like, let's be real, also the girl. So there's that. She's the other girl that gets to play off Kimberly.
She sounded comfortable though.
Yeah. No, it was like 100% like great fit, too.
Yeah, like she's one that I was like, whoa, you sound like you're comfortable in what you're doing.
Yeah.
You
And then
know,
Rocky is getting the suit, let's be real, the suit of the franchise. So then
yeah.
that's his kind of like, but then Adam was just Adam.
Yeah, he was the one who had a real tough time, like
Yeah.
initially. Cause like I don't know, he also looked like he was just there,
Uh-huh. And I
being
feel like,
truthful, right? Like,
yeah, and let's be real, if you look at it, that comment of, oh, I'm a frog, that kind of sums it up like great. Everyone's getting all these like sick, like Tommy's a falcon, Kimberly's a crane, freaking Aisha's a bear, or he's an ape, there's a wolf, and I'm a
mm-hmm,
freaking frog.
mm-hmm.
Like, I'm a frog. Everyone's
Mm-hmm.
getting these sick, like dope ass animals, and I'm a frog.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that is kind of a letdown. But that kind
For
of sums
sure.
up Adam, though, like, and where he was in the show.
Oh, for sure. So they go to get this, find this great power.
Hmm.
Really cool scenes, right? Like this is arguably the coolest fight scenes,
Yes.
of the movie. And like I read, Marcus, you could tell me if I'm wrong. There was actually a scene where they were supposed to get some blood on Tommy
Yeah.
when it cut his shirt.
Yeah.
Just finally supposed to get some blood, right?
Hmm. But they're
And it
like,
didn't.
"Nope, kid show,
Kid show.
your kids movie."
Yeah. Which makes sense, right? But like interesting note that they were like thinking of those things, right?
Yes.
There's also I read too that like there was notes of like when the Tengu were fighting them, like they were thought about having like some blood or something on them,
Hmm.
which would make sense, right? If you get pecked by a bird, like
Yeah, especially like when Kimberly gets like picked up, dude, they gotta like claws, talons go in.
yeah, I thought the same thing about that too, Marcus. I was like, okay, like she got picked up, she doesn't have anything on her.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. What do I know? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
what do I know about that? But I thought that was cool actually. Thought it went well. Like what are you thinking though now, like about Zed? Okay, let's talk about that. We talked about how Zed looks different, but
Uh-huh.
can you tell me what you thought now, looking at it now, Zed and Rita just being like neutered in a way?
I kind of hated it, honestly. Like at the time, I was like, oh, okay, dang, I knew this bad dude. But now I'm like, it still kind of bugs me in a sense.
I gotta go. They got out. Give me a second.
Uh, Dang. So,
Dogs,
new puppies, dog.
new puppies,
New
man. Thank
puppies.
goodness gracious, bodacious.
So back to what I was saying about Zed and Rita. Looking back now, it kind of bugs me that they were just pushed aside like that.
Uh
Like
huh.
I thought, like looking back now, I would have done a thing where almost like, I mean, the ending is so great. Don't get me wrong. Like how Aisha's just like, all right, taking care of business, hits the thing. They knee Ivan in the nuts,
Yeah.
and he like that pushes him into the asteroid and kills him. Don't get me wrong, it's iconic as hell. But what I would have done, like I would have had a scene where like Zed and Rita got out and they kind of like turn, well, obviously uh Ivan turned on them, but like they kind of get their come up with him, and
Mm,
not in the sense of like helping the Rangers, but in a sense it kind of would have, because it could have been like a, hey, no, we gonna destroy the Rangers, like that's our thing,
yeah.
like you ain't getting this credit for it and all that. I think that would have been kind of interesting to see play out, because
That
they made
that'd have
him,
been a good one.
yeah, like especially when like Goldar flies off and he's like, oh man, this dude's like, he did kind
No,
of
that'd have
crazy
been
now
good.
going after it. So then Goldar goes and frees them in a sense, but I don't know.
That would have been good. Something, right? Because like I feel like that too, that they didn't get no comeuppance whatsoever.
No, and they just get the thing at the end where
Mm.
where Goldar's in the chair and he's like, now I'm Lord Goldar. And then door
Yeah.
opens, and then they're like, and it just does that like zoom in shot of them,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like, oh, and hits the song.
Mm-hmm. Like
Like
that I know. I thought the same
that's
thing.
it's cool. I get it, but it was like they needed more.
I thought the coolest thing possible, like I thought their ninja suits were cool, right? Because it's different. It was
Oh
different, right?
yeah.
We've never seen that with Power Rangers. Like they look different.
Hmm.
Even Kimberly's suit was different, right? Like
Uh-huh.
she didn't have no skirts or nothing like that, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but I thought the Zords fighting on their own at first was really cool touch.
Oh, it was great.
Like that kind of like you said, Marcus, where like it's cool when the Zords can do their own thing.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people talk crap about like the CGI of the Zords. You got to
Yeah, for
realize,
sure.
hey, this is freaking like 1995. Okay, this is
Yeah,
like almost
yeah,
30 years
yeah.
ago. They ain't have it like we do now. Okay,
No, it's completely
and
different.
it's like you got to understand, like at that time, that was like a big, oh, okay, those are some major effects.
Oh yeah, that was deemed like cool.
Yeah, so it's like, come on, man. Like, I know like Jurassic Park came out and there was like CGI used in that, but that was more almost the way they use it there was more like animated.
Hmm.
Plus, they had a way bigger budget. It's a freaking Steven Spielberg film. Okay. Steven gonna
Yeah.
get his money. He gonna get that backing. This is a
Hmm.
movie by some guy no one knows about, and this is first film. And
Bro,
again,
I
it's
know.
like, but granted, 15 million in 1995 in
It
that
was a
Clinton,
lot.
hey, in that Clinton era, money was
It's,
long. Money was long, bro.
it's just
So
it's a lot of money.
so it's like, yes, they had a good budget, but it's also like, look, those effects, it was different back then. And I know a lot of
I
people, I think the weird thing about the Zords though is like people talking about how like Rocky's ape Zord literally went from like looking like an actual ape in the movie to then like in the show he looked more human.
Yeah, he did. The
It was like more
most of
like
the things look different.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, everything looked different. Even the Zord looked different from in the show, right?
Yeah.
Um, I like that Zed's thing was that he uses his own Zords.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you wonder,
Wait,
like,
you
was
mean
Zed?
Ivan?
Yeah, Ivan. Excuse me. Yeah, Ivan. It makes you wonder, like, so did he have like Rangers, his own? Like he knows Zordon, right? And now with the comics, we've learned a lot about Zordon too.
Well, I'll say this talking about comics and Ivan's potential like use of Zords. I thought this would be a hell of a interesting thing to explore. Um, and I think it's very well established that this movie obviously is not canon to the
Oh
show.
yeah, yeah, no.
And it's very then of course people say, well, hey, in the grand multiverse scheme of things, this is its own in its own universe. Fine. I get that. It's like Ninja Turtles thing. Every iteration of Ninja Turtles exists in its own universe. I get that. But what I think would be interesting here is how they done with Batman 89. I don't know if you've heard of this. So it's a graphic novel series that takes place solely like it picks up after Batman Returns in those
Okay.
Tim Burton movies because Tim Burton's original idea of Batman Forever had Marlon Wayans coming in as Robin and homie still gets money from that.
Isn't that
Even though,
trip?
yeah, I would love to talk to him about that one day. Be like, hey man, yeah, you're great, Wayne show, all that. No, dude, I want to talk to you about this. Like, what kind of contract did you sign that you still making money off of this? But anyway, um, they did this whole series where it takes place in that universe of the Tim Burton movies. And so you see what like Marlon Wayne's Robin would have looked like. They got Billy D. Williams back as Two-Face because remember, he's originally was Harvey Dent.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like, I think seeing like a graphic novel series based in this reality of the
Mm-hmm.
movie would be awesome. So you can get more backstory on Ivan. We could see more stuff of
Who
happening with the
owns Ivan News though?
huh?
Who owns Ivan News?
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
have a feeling that's why like a lot of stuff hasn't
Why
come
he's
out with
never
him.
used again?
Yeah,
Possibly.
they don't
Hey
even
man,
make figures of him
no,
anymore.
no. They did that one and that was it.
But
That
yeah,
I
but
think
that was during the time though.
no, but also didn't they do a re-release? I thought with like the legend when they did the what was it? Not the lightning before the lightning collection. The legacy.
Legacy? I don't
I
remember
thought when
that.
they did the movies, I thought they released one.
I don't remember that.
Because I know when they did the movie, I know they did the movie. I thought they did one. I
Mm,
could be wrong.
I think you're wrong.
Okay. But I
Yeah,
swear
there's
I thought
not.
they
Literally the only merchandise he has is I think did he get a legacy? Oh, when they did the movie ones, right? But who owned that? Was that Bandai?
yeah.
So
But see, that's what I'm saying.
is all of that like Bandai stuff? So like Bandai owns it then.
Bandai or
Because
Saban.
like I'm surprised Hasbro.
Yeah,
If
unless
if
Saban.
Hasbro doesn't own it, then they can't do it, right?
Yeah, because then it's a lease unless whoever owns it leases them to do it. Because that's why it's like think about it. They're able to do the Ninjetti suits because using the show, the Tengus in the show. The only one from that, technically from the movie that hasn't been done, we haven't seen Lightning collection didn't do the movie suits, which I'm surprised. But then also the with Ivan Ooze, that's probably because they don't own that.
It makes you wonder if they don't do the movie suits because maybe it was so close to like the last one's coming out.
Possibly,
It's kind of close, like and
also the
I think that's a
legacy
niche, right?
kind of, but then also with like the legacy collection and stuff that came out, we got like the full Dino Thunder team, and we already have them all in Lightning collection.
Yeah, I just think it's different because what are you gonna do? Come out with four different White Rangers?
True,
Because
very
they did
true.
the metallic ones of everyone too.
No, yeah, they did. But
You
again,
know, so like,
Metallics was the show. So that's
yeah,
probably why they were able to do that. And it's not the movie because they don't may not own the movie stuff. That's the
they.
only
I
thing
assume
I
they
can think
don't.
of. Yeah.
Like, I assume they don't own it.
But yeah, dude, I think like if they were to do a if they were to be like a let's say a Mighty Morphin 95.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Batman 89. Let's do Mighty Morphin 95.
Yeah,
And it takes place in this movie universe and what could have happened. I think that would have been
maybe,
real that could be real interesting.
maybe that's an interesting concept.
But then is it like also limited though too? Because then it's like,
Well, it
oh,
is for sure limited.
well, because it's like, okay, well then what they gonna do then? You know?
Yeah, yeah, like that's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, it sounds cool for like that, but I don't think you get much further
Because then it's just gonna
than
go
that.
back into the show, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But instead of Ninja, we keep Dulcia.
Sure, like I guess right. Like they bring Scorpina back when it's like, oh, I thought you were
Oh,
dead.
that would have been interesting. Yeah.
um, I thought that the fight scene was okay. He got hit by a meteor, which is kind of interesting. That like everything in the '90s had to do with asteroids.
In space. It was
Mm-hmm.
space, kung fu.
The Falcon Zord saving the people with the train was a cool spot.
Yep.
Um, I guess him sliming into the Zord was kind of cool,
Yeah.
you know, and making himself a Zord. Arguably my favorite part of the whole movie, and this sounds terrible to say, but it's just like iconic, etched in my brain, is the ending where they have fireworks show where they thank the Power Rangers and that
Uh-huh.
dreams is playing.
Yep.
I don't know why. I just like that made me grow the love for that song.
It's dude, that's all I think about with that song now is the movie and Tommy. Obviously from like the video I made, but still it's just yeah. That's all I think of when I hear that song.
Yeah, so like I like the song a ton and it makes me like the movie, but like
Uh-huh.
that ending is I feel like a perfect way. And again, it's a Tommy Kimberly show.
Yeah.
You know, this kid though, right? He wants to be, what did he say, the Gold
He's like
Ranger?
he's like Fred Kelman, the Silver Ranger. Hey Billy, that has a nice ring to it. Uh-uh. Fred Kelman, the Gold Ranger.
And then
Hey bro,
Austin saying
hey, maybe in the 95 in MMPR 95, Mighty Morphin 95, he becomes a ranger.
produced written by Marcus Morton. Like I don't know.
But
Maybe.
yeah, dude, that ending is great. And what always makes me laugh though too, and this is like looking back now. So we always talk about everything having the glow up in the movies and looking different. Ernie's is completely like Ernie's is on the river, he's serving lobster and all that.
Nah, Ernie just went outside.
Dude, what's funny
That's all that
though?
happened.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like they just went outside.
Yeah. Okay. Hey,
Like
it's
in the spot on the other side, like as if it's
oh
Bandor's palace or whatever.
like how they did with Zio, how they just went to like Ernie's outdoor part.
Right? Like
Like it's just
we
but
saving money everywhere.
Uh, but I think though, what was always kind of stuck with me looking back now is like I'm looking at it like with a side eye, bro. You see these kids, they all wilding out, got the slime and all that.
Mhm.
One homie looked like he was just gone. He was like playing like, brother, what is you doing? Like,
What is
are
you
y'all like
doing?
drinking this? Like, I assume they're drinking and doing stuff that less real kids
They
would be
on
doing,
that lean.
right? Ivan News was selling that was in that perp, giving them that lean, and these kids was on it. But what's funny while all
Totally.
that was going on, hey, Bulk and Skull over there too with them. But
Which
it's
is
just,
wild, by the way.
but it's just to me, it's just interesting because it's like, so are these kids in this movie? Obviously, they look like junior hires, but then Bulk and Skull are there, so I'm like,
I know. I know that part's interesting. Them saving their parents. They were all about to die unless their parents
hey,
got soaked.
so he just hosing them down.
And that works, huh? Water.
Hey, that was like pushing him back. Like, I mean, hey man, guess you must have been watching Fred Kelman must have been watching some of those like civil rights movement videos. Like, oh, I know what'll stop him. A hose. We're a little Taekwon to be like, no.
Didn't you know? There was only room for one. But anyways,
It's Aisha. She's boogieing with the
yeah.
bear.
Yeah.
I love that line, by the way. I love that
Yeah,
line.
it's a
It's
line.
it's time to boogie with the bear.
Yeah,
Good
it's a
for you,
line.
Aisha. Good for
Uh-huh.
you.
Any other thoughts on the movie?
Um, it's a classic, bro. It's a classic.
It's a classic for Power Rangers.
It in the
It
in
doesn't super hold up. To be
no,
honest.
but no, but I feel like it's a class, not just a classic for Rangers, but it's just a classic of the '90s. It is a
Yes.
product of its time. It's a perfect
Yeah.
testament of the '90s and like stuff of and stuff like that.
Like, hey, you want to know
Uh,
what 1995 is like?
watch this movie.
Yeah, here you go.
Yeah, yeah. It was. Uh, it's so good, and I could still go back and watch it and be entertained. But I feel like every time I do though, I still find stuff to question. Now I'm like,
Oh,
wait,
for sure.
hold up.
I mean, I have a huge like it's not huge, but I think it's like normal, but I'm gonna say this, and I can't wait till we talk about the 2017 movie. 2017 movie, light years way better. I'm talking not close
Well, they
in any
had
realm.
they also had an extra $85 million to play with.
If you use the inflation calculator from
Yeah.
95 to now, it's about the same.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Good. Okay.
yeah. Come on,
No, but
dog.
it is. But that was also done like because that I mean the 2017 was done now in an era thanks to Batman Begins of um kind of like grounded
Uh huh.
hero movies. And plus they really did with that movie, they're like, hey, we're taking Day of the Dumpster and making a 2.5 hour long like movie on this, which to me is incredible. So,
That is incredible.
but yeah, but my dude, MMPR the movie, it was great. I love it. It was a classic. Um, even though, like I said like I said earlier when Adam got kissed by Dulcia, I was like, ew. But then also like I'm not gonna lie, even though I said that then, at that same time, when Kimberly was jumping down, like got free from that Tengu, I was like, oh hello.
It is interesting to look at like I guess we'll talk about it more once we ever do the 2017 movie. But I find it like the 2017 movie was trying to restart a franchise as a movie franchise, right?
Yes.
Whereas this is like smack dab in the middle of them filming. So like think about it. They're spending a lot of money in
Yeah.
general.
And they went over budget,
Over
over
budget, and
time.
like you're also using like you're having to still budget for the show.
Yeah.
Like there's just a lot of money getting tossed around. But overall, like obviously I get nostalgic feels with it. Like I vividly remember getting the Falcon Zord. That was like a big Christmas gift that I wanted in 95. So, you know, that was a huge Christmas gift I wanted because I was
Yeah.
all about the White Ranger.
Well, who wasn't?
Who wasn't, right? Like
Who
he's
was it,
he's
man?
he's the guy. Let's see. Any other thoughts you have on this?
Um, nah, man.
No, it wasn't bad. I mean, we'll watch. Like I would
I
watch it
don't.
if it was on TV.
Yeah, no,
I'd
I'm
watch it over Turbo.
oh, 100%, 100%.
Yeah,
I'm
over
gonna watch.
Turbo for sure.
I will choose, even though Turbo is canon to the show and kind of a better. It's seen as a better movie than MMPR,
Yeah, for sure. I could see that.
but nah, dude, I'm picking MMPR the movie over Turbo any day. And plus, I feel like it's also more iconic because, dude, people remember Ivan News.
It's iconic also because of the season. I think Marcus.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like that makes it iconic. Like, come on, like
Well, it was it.
everyone in there besides like I think the OG 3, but like you have too many things in there that are too nostalgic for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, come on, you got Zed and Rita, you got Goldar.
Zed,
Like,
Rita, Goldar, Alpha, the
you
Rangers.
know who the villains are really.
Yeah.
Like, even though like Ivan News comes in and he is a great character, even though he's like pretty charismatic, like he's funny, but like you
Uh-huh.
have to be for a kid's show. He's a really good character, you know. So that's it basically for the movie. Let's talk about this giveaway.
Giveaway time. Okay.
Okay, now I think I botched the post. I'm gonna say it now. I think I botched the post because
Okay.
I never put on there. I don't know if you ever read it or you just liked it.
I did.
But
I saw the first one and then it disappeared and then it came back again.
yeah, it's because something happened with the reel. But
Okay.
I didn't put in there that we will get a drawing winner when we hit 100 subscribers. Now
Oh,
you
okay.
tell me, you handled the YouTube. Have we even went up a subscriber?
Nope.
Okay,
We
we
still have
went up.
48. I checked before we started.
We've went up 20 something followers. 30, I think 30 now.
Okay.
So like
On
we're getting followers on Instagram,
yeah.
but we're not really getting subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
So we got to figure something out. I
So
think
I'd
I'm
say
gonna put another post later,
mhm,
maybe even a shortened version of whatever we did, and then that'll be like the real post of like, hey, we need to do this because
mhm,
like we're getting the followers for IG, but we're not getting subscribers on YouTube that we would want. Maybe if we start putting up, I guess like more shorts and stuff. Like I don't know,
mhm.
we could, but because right now we're not getting any from the thing, and we've had hours of people watching, by the way, already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
So
I
I'm
was
like,
literally because when I saw that reel, I saw a thing on our Instagram page that showed like the other reels and how many plays they had and seeing like how that full Tommy Oliver one is almost at 2,000.
yeah,
Bro, and that's 15 minutes. You get I don't know like the exact like
I can give you the exact metrics.
but I don't know how much
It's
like
just
how
like
long
Netflix,
but I don't know how long you have to watch it for it to count as a view. You know what I'm saying?
literally 10 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Okay. I was
Yeah.
like,
It
damn, these
tells you, it
people
tells you the
I was like
average time.
I was like, okay, damn, these people watching this whole thing. Okay.
No, it tells me the average time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
Okay.
dog, you really think people watch all Netflix specials? Nope, that ain't happening. Uh, they don't. Uh,
Okay.
but yeah, so we got to figure out a better way to put out there for our YouTube subscribers because that's what we want to aim this for. It's weird. I feel like if we aim this to IG, we would be like in a minute, like in a week,
Yeah.
like we would have what we want. But the YouTube one's a little harder to grow. Um, so we'll be seeing. We're both off right now of work.
Yep.
We want to put some more stuff out. I want to add some more social media contents, different social medias while I'm off. So that's kind of still a goal. Marcus, have you thought at all of what we should do episode 36 on?
I feel like now that we are kind of talking about it, we should go and do that. Look at that Bulk and Skull produced episodes with the Green Ranger, White Ranger fight.
So you want to do that arc?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one.
Because it's memorable, but then also just like that, and we were talking about it, and that's just it's a lot of interesting stuff there. So
I think I'm down. Let's do that.
All right, Don.
There's a lot to talk about, right? Like
There is.
back in the back too.
Yeah,
Production side. I wonder if like that, and I'm just gonna say this and then I'll leave it alone. If them doing that made them seem more valuable to keep around.
probably. And that probably said, like, besides that, probably left them to get that Adventures of Bulk and Skull.
Yeah.
So
I like it. That's gonna be a good one. Anything else you want to say?
uh to those that possess the great power, all things are possible.
And with that, we conclude episode 35 of Rangers of the Grid, Power Rangers the movie, Richard, Marcus, and we out. And how are we out?
Because we got it grocery bag.